Alright, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to be looking at borders and shadows in CSS. Now, just like you know that CSS is just like design tool that we use, but it's not just drag and drop design tool, but you need to write the code to do any design that you want to do. So in the same way, just like we can use drag and drop on other design tools like Photoshop and the like, to create borders and shadows around your element in the same vein, you can also create borders and shadow around your element in CSS, and that is what we are going to be looking at in this session. For this session too, I'm going to be writing the code inside one. We are going to be using in internal CSS so that we will not need to be going back and forth because we are not writing too much code here. But when we need to write too much code, then I will not have any choice than to just come to this external CSS to write the CSS. But for now, we are going to be limiting it to this file. So now borders. So let's say you create an element, call it a div. I am going to give it a class, the most popular selector to style our element. I'm going to be giving a class of box. I'll come inside my head section. This is my head section. And I'll create an internal CSS file using the style tag. So I'll call the boss class, and I'll give it a width of maybe 30 pixels if that will be alright, and I'll give it height of maybe 50 pixels if that will be fine. Let's see it in action. Okay, let me give it a background color so that it will be visible. Background color of red. If I save it now I can see it, but I want the width to be more, maybe 140. If I save, now I also want the height to be maybe 200 so that it will be bigger and more visible. Yeah, it's visible now. So let's say you want to create border around your elements. All you just need to do is so this is what we are learning now. So the border property, don't forget I'm still creating it inside the property of this box class. So I'm going to, the first element is I can create the border style, which you have different options. If you want this intelligence to come, you just need to press Ctrl space. If you're on Windows and if you're on Mac, you just press Command space. So you have this. You can make it dash, you can make it dotted. So let's try double. And how thick do you want it to be? You set that using border width. Set that using border width, and it can be anything. Don't forget we learned about measurements the other time, so you can just make it 12 pixel. If you are not good with it, you can still change it. And the border, what color do you want it to be? So you need to set the color of the border too. You need to set the color of the border. Since our box is red, let's make it black. Let's make it black. So if you save it now, you see that our box now have a double border. If I don't want it to be border double, maybe I want it to be dash. You can see that it's dash now. If I want to reduce the thickness, maybe the thickness is too much, you can change this to 6 pixels. You can see that the thickness has reduced. If I want to change the color to which color we show here, let's see how yellow will look. Yeah, so we have yellow color. So all these three properties, you can also combine them to be one. How do you combine them to be one? By just saying border, so border radius, border color. So the first property is the size. So in this case, let's just say 4 pixels. The second one is the style dashed, and the last one is the color. In this case, let's use an hexadecimal color, Xcode color. So let's use CC and let's see how it goes. Oh, that does not show. Let me just go with black. I think black will be okay. So if I save it now, you can see. So what this is doing with 3 lines, I can achieve with just 1 line here. So that is that about border. Now sometimes you might need to create, you can see that your box is a perfect, the corners are not rounded, the corners are perfect corners. So if you want to make the corners to be curved, then you do that using border radius. So just like you can set borders around the edge of the shape, you can also set curves around the corners of the shape. How do you do that? You do that using a property called border radius. Intelligence is there for you. So once you set the border, let's set it to 10 pixels. So let's see that we are using. You can see that it was let me comment out perfect corner. If I comment, if I save, see that I have some. If I want the curve to curve in more, that is right. Set it to 40 pixels. You can see. If I want it to be maybe a circle, I just set it to 50%. If I save it, see that it's like an oval or a circle, but it definitely does not want that. So you can just play around with it, see how it goes. So that's how to set curve around. And you can also maybe set some to not have corner. So if you save this now, you can see that this is the left, the right, this place and this place. So you can also take for property. So you can set for property. Let me set this to 5 pixels. If you save, so this 12 is this 0 is this. You see that it doesn't have any curve. This 4 is this a little bit, 5 is this also a little bit, and that is how to set border radius, which is the curve in CSS. So sometimes you might want to also add shadow to your box. You also want to create shadow. Now to create shadow, you use a property called box shadow. This box shadow always take 3 property. The first one is the horizontal offset. Like, you know that if you create a shadow bar perfectly under this box, you will definitely not see it. So you want the shadow to come out a bit so that it will be nice. So you need to create the horizontal offset. That means how much do you want it to leave the box or the major elements horizontally, and how much do you want it to leave or offset from the parent element vertically. And then you set the how blurry do you want it to be. Is it thick or less? You don't want it to be thick. And also you set the color. So let's see it in action. So let's set this to be 3 pixels, and you can also play around with these things to get what you need. And this is horizontal, vertical, and the blurry. Let's just set the blurry to 3 pixels, and I set the color to, let's just see something brown. If that will be nice, if that will show. I can see that we have some blurry box shadow. So you can just play around with this number. Maybe make this 45. See how it goes. You can see that shows this is the horizontal offset. So okay, I don't want it to be too much. Okay, I want to change to 12. Horizontal offset is the first one. So the second one definitely is the vertical offset. So you can also play around with this and just see. Can even give it a negative value. So you see that it's push up, but if you want it to come down, you can make it to be 15. It to come down more. If you want it to come down more, you can play around with it and make it 35 if that will work for you. Depends on what you want, but I will leave it at 5. Now you can also set how blurry do you want it to be. Maybe you set this to 45. See that it's very blurry. If you want it to be thick, you can just set it to maybe 1. Maybe 1, and you save. So you see that it's very thick now, but if you want it to be blurry, you can just make it to be 10 so that it will not distract people from the major item. And the color that you want it to take, maybe you want the color to be black, you see that it has changed to black. I think black looks nice. So that is that about border radius and box shadow in CSS.